So today, just to get a little more practice with Illustrator, we're going to try to recreate this Converse All-Star logo with a few modifications. Um, Help you get some practice more with the shapes, also type path to get the letters to curve like this, and show you how to edit stroke options so that you can get these dashed lines and a few other features. So we'll set up a 5x5 document, 5 inches by 5 inches. Click OK in Illustrator. Illustrator has layers along with all the other programs you'll be working with. So let's make some layers here so that we can just separate our text and our graphics. That's something you want to get in the habit of doing just because it makes it a lot easier to organize and edit your document when that happens. So you could also even have like a guides layer as well, just so you don't accidentally click on that. And these can be organized or arranged however you like. I'm going to lock the graphics and text layer for the time being. Get my rulers up, that's Command R to do that. I'm going to put a guide right in the middle of the page vertically and horizontally, so at the 2.5 inch mark, so I know right where the center of my document is. Then I'm going to lock that layer and I'm going to work just off the graphics. So I want to be able to see what this logo looks like. I'm just going to shrink down my window a bit here so I got enough room. Okay, so there's the Converse logo that we're trying to recreate somewhat. What I would suggest first, we'll start with this outside circle. So we'll get the circle tool. You're going to want a fill of like a dark navy. So I'm just going to choose one right there. And when we start drawing out the circle, let's do it on the graphics layer. So select that graphics layer. I'm going to start from the center point. So when you do that, you can hold down the Option key and Shift to make it a perfectly straight circle. So I started clicking and dragging. I hold down Option first, and then after I start dragging, I hold the Shift key to make it nice and straight. So I'll make it as large as I think will look good. Try to get close to that thickness of that Converse logo. So somewhere around 7 looks pretty darn close. Okay. Another nice tool that you have is called the scale tool, and what that does is the scale tool will allow you to, well, you know, let's make the other line first. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll draw another line, okay, and make it where that next dashed line would be. This line is going to be a little bit thinner, so I'm going to adjust my line size to maybe like 2 points, and then I'm going to find my stroke window. As you see here, you have these stroke options. You can expand this window to get all the options, one of them being dashed lines. And once you have dashed lines, you can specify how big you want those dashes to be, how big you want the space to be in between those dashes. So maybe like 10 looks good. I don't know. It's just kind of a guess and check type of thing. That looks pretty decent. So I'll stick with that. Okay. Check my spacing in the logo, maybe a little bit larger. I'll make this 2-point stroke. Now, a nice feature, you have this scale tool that lets you take an object and scale it down. So I'm going to make sure this circle is selected. I'm going to double click my scale tool. It pops open a menu, and I can say, you know what, I want to make a piece that is about 97% what the original was. And instead of hitting OK, OK will just make that smaller, but copy will make a copy of it. So that looks pretty nice. Pretty close to what I want it to be. Maybe make some adjustments to this dashed line so it fits a little bit better. Maybe okay. Again, some guess and check methods to get that dashed line looking how you want it to be. Last thing you're going to want to do from here is work with your star in the middle. Now the star tool, if you click once with it, you can change the options here. So we want big points on that star. We want a lot of space in between these two numbers. So let's try like 0.3 and 1. So there's an inside circle and an outside circle of every star tool. Hit OK, see what that looks like. Maybe I want a little bit less of points there, so I'm going to change it to 0.4 and click OK. And I'm going to start drawing out my star piece here and fill it with a solid color. Once you have that done, now you can start doing your text. So I have the star drawn out. All my graphics are on this layer. I'm going to lock this layer and then unlock my text layer and start working with this portion. First portion I would do is just the name, simple part. Write your name. Case sensitive here. You'll notice it's like a script type font, so we're going to choose one that looks close to that. You may not have an exact match in your default fonts, but just try to get one that looks somewhat close to that style, kind of like a hand-drawn font, brush type script font. Find one that looks close to it. I'm still not too happy with that one. Maybe I'll try a different option. Oh, this one looks okay. Maybe. Okay. Once you have your font that you like, scale it down to the correct size. You don't want to make these two fonts different size. Even though the first or last name may be larger or smaller, try to keep it the same font size. So I'll balance it a little bit. You'll notice it's right about that point, so I'll just kind of move it to the right spot. I'm going to bring this text over, just copy it. Hold down the Option key and drag it over, and then you can adjust your name. That way you know that it's on that same plane, but also that the font size is the same. You can adjust the location using the arrow keys on your keyboard. Try to make it line up as close as possible. You have a registered trademark symbol right here. You can actually do that by hitting Option R on your keyboard and choose a font that's probably close to that symbol style. Most fonts have those glyphs, so you want to put it right there. And then the last step is going to be to create your type paths, the Converse All-Star in red there. That part's a little bit more difficult. We're actually going to create a path to type along. So you're going to make a shape like a circle, and then the text will follow the path of that shape. So again, we're doing this on the text layer so that only the text is affected. That's what's nice, and you're not actually like clicking on all this stuff. You know, this graphics layer is locked, so I don't have to worry about selecting those things. Alright, so we'll make our type path first. It's just a circle, so you can make any shape and type along the edge of that shape. It's just outside of the star, so I'll make the circle just a little bit bigger than the star. Doesn't matter the color information of this, because once you add a type path, it goes away. So I'll select type path. I'm going to click on this line, and as I said, that information goes away. I'm going to type the word Converse, and obviously it's not in the right spot. These two lines here allow you to move the location of the type path. So I want to move my two lines to the middle point of the sides of the circle. I'm going to center it. So now my text is right in the middle where I want it to be. I want it to be a reddish color. Pretty decent size, and obviously this font is way off. I want to get a serif type font. So find one that looks close to the look that you're going for. Let's see if we can find one that is close to it. Nope, that's not it. And you may have to kind of search through these, try and find the best one that looks close to that. Rockwell, pretty close. Let's go with that one. Okay, and you have text options that you can go through here. You'll notice the letters are a little bit spaced out, so you can change the spacing of your letters, increase those if you need to. I'm going to put like 50, maybe even 100 for my letter spacing. The size can be increased until it fits in that space a little bit better. Now one change we're going to make, instead of Converse, let's do graphics for our text. And we need one going the opposite direction. Those have to be on separate type paths. So you just copy that type path just like so. And you can change options here. I'm going to flip the direction. And I'm also going to change my align to path to ascender, which puts it on the bottom of the circle. And I can flip this circle around and snap it back into place. Find that center point. I may need to adjust the circle size a bit so that it fits better. And now I have the text going in the bottom direction. We'll just change this to all star, and you have a Converse All-Star logo replica. Have a great day.